always like this. On one very special night, not so long ago, not that time matters really, they were all asleep in their cosy little beds all around the world. Professor Van Hout, who's a scientist in Berlin, was sleeping in his laboratory, dreaming of a juicy mouse. Tiny Seven Squeaks in Italia was a juicy mouse, and he was dreaming of a fat fish. 45 Bellies, fast asleep, had just eaten a fat fish in his dream. It was one of his habitual 5 courses at every mealtime. Madame Toom, who's in Australia, was just looking at her 2 pink gloves, thinking how fantastic it was that when they made gloves, they made them in pairs of 2, 1 for each hand. Sister Three Bars was in the green valleys of Wales, dreaming of her future with a lovely Welsh man who was a singer with a big voice. And Bugsy Hop in Beijing in China was just dreaming how lucky it was for Olympics in 2008 that it started 8 seconds, 8 minutes on the 8th of the 8th month, August 2008, because 8 is such a lucky number. He too was lucky for being born 8 seconds, 8 minutes, 8 o'clock on the 8th of the 8th month in year of rabbit. That's why he was lucky rabbit. And Lord Twelvetails at his castle in Ireland was just dreaming. Suddenly all over the world, all 12 multiples who just a second ago had been having lovely, sweet dreams, woke from their dreams, and before they could consciously and deliciously relive all those dreams, they found themselves being zoomed up through the roofs of their houses, through the atmosphere of the earth. There it was, hurtling down beneath them. They could see the blue of the seas and the white of the clouds as they zoomed up, and they thought, what's happening? Am I dying? Is this what heaven's like? They were zooming off into the universe. They were zooming off. And as they looked up, thinking, were they going to heaven? They suddenly found themselves being sucked through into a golden tube. And they were shooting, bombing up through this tube. They knew they were shooting up because they could see the walls of this tube were golden, shining lights in the shape of a sort of 6-sided hexagon built up one upon another. They went up like a lift to the tallest building in the world, except they were going through the universe. Up they shot. Zoom! Zoom! They went up through this nanotube. Was it a nanotube? They didn't know. Suddenly they got to the top. Suddenly they got to the top. And huge beams of photons of light came rushing in at them from the edges of the universe and pounded into their temples. And just like that, they'd gone right back and were landing in their bed again. What just happened? They said to themselves. They didn't know what had happened to them. All they knew was that something extraordinary had happened. And it turns out it gave them multiple powers.